Kornicky and Mel in the morning.
Ottawa's Real Rock.
Rebel 101.7.
Now, there's more than just a couple of you out there that are excited for the NHL returning tonight. And big one to watch. This is going to be the Leafs versus the Canadians. And then it's just sitting back and waiting until Friday rolls around when our Sens finally end up taking to the ice for the first time in, I don't know, several hundred days, over 300. and listen, we're going to try to this because, Mel and I, we end up watching it. But there's people out there that really follow this. You can get knee deep in it. And one of the guys we're going to talk to, part of the Silver Seven Sens blogosphere that's out there, Brandon Maki on the phone with us. Good morning, dude. How are you?
Morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
We're doing great. You pretty excited finally getting the season going?
Yeah, it's funny. You were talking several hundred days since the Senators have last played. On Friday, it'll be 310. So that's how closely I follow the Ottawa Senators. It's like a sickness. It's bad for my health, but I just can't stop.
Oh, fantastic. Let's tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get involved with, penning about the Sens and getting involved with Silver Seven Sevens?
So I'm born and raised in Sudbury, Ontario, where I was a huge Sens fan. Somehow it came to be after actually my dad had a visit to Ottawa and came back with a copy of the Game Day magazine and, gave it to me, and I flipped through it, and I just kind of fell in love with the team. And that ended up being the year that they went to the Stanley Cup Final in 2007.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a good jumping on point. And a couple of years ago now, almost 3 years now, I saw an opening at my favorite blog, which was Silver Seven, and I had done some writing in the past, but never anything like this. So I decided to throw my name in the hat. And, like I said, in the summer, we're coming up on 3 years now. And we've got a great team. I'd put our work up there against anybody else. And, we're really blessed to have the crew that we have. And we're really, really excited to be able to actually talk about real hockey again instead of, speculating and prospects and everything in between. So I'm really, really psyched.
Interesting, because up in Sudbury, obviously, that's blue and white territory for the most part. You would have been an outcast out there. But you know what? I ended up, my love of the Sens ended up happening the same way. I was living in Toronto, and I used to come down with Leaf fans to watch games. And the Sens were on fire, late 90s and stuff. And I really embraced the team and thought, hey, nice arena, this team, they're exciting. There was something to watch. Ended up becoming a fan for the exact same reason. Mel, of course, is still hanging on to her blue and white. There's a little bit of it still in her.
There are several of us in this city, and most of us are very well behaved.
Well, what are you looking forward to, man? As we're getting into this year, obviously the season's going to be very different. We're going to be playing some of the same teams 9, 10 times right across this country. How's as sort of a mini league and a mini season? How do you figure it's going to work out for the Sens playing basically the same teams throughout the entire season and what they're looking against?
Well, it's really interesting the way that this whole format is going to work. For my money, there are a couple teams in Canada who got indisputably better over the offseason. And Sens fans aren't going to love to hear this, but I think it's the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens. Both of them took noticeable steps forward. I think they'll be around near the top of the division. But the rest, there's some room for flexibility. You have a team like the Vancouver Canucks who had a really solid playoff run last year. They were one game away from knocking off the Vegas Golden Knights, who I think should have won the Stanley Cup based on the talent that they have. And now they've lost some pieces. There are people saying they may have taken a step back. So for the Senators, it's going to be really dependent on how quickly some of their young players make the jump. Is Tim Stützle going to start contributing right away? Is Drake Batherson going to perform up to his potential and solidify himself as a top six forward? Are the young defenders going to be able to contribute? Is Matt Murray going to rebound? So I think Ottawa will probably finish last just based on the competition that they're going to be facing and the talent that they're going up against every night. But don't be surprised if they jump up to that, fifth or maybe even that fourth spot. Like, they have the talent. It's just a question of how quickly it comes together.
Now, is there enough youth on this? Well, there's a lot of youth on this team right now. As far as leading this team, who do you think's going to be at the forefront on the ice as far as leading the team?
Well, the two players, I should say, who are in the running for captain next year are Thomas Chabot and Brady Tkachuk. I think they're the most talented players on the team as of right now, but they've also solidified themselves as leaders. And what's interesting is how different their styles are. You have Thomas Chabot, who's more reminiscent of that Daniel Alfredson type of leader that we've seen in Ottawa before. He's quiet. He doesn't really do much talking. He just kind of goes out, does his job, does it well, and leads by example. And then you have Brady Tkachuk, who is not the opposite of that because he does lead by example like Chabot, but at the same time, he's, the phrase that was used to describe him by his dad in the summer, I think, was he drags people into the fight. Brady's the kind of leader that'll get in the other team's face and just really try to inspire his team and maybe fire them up with, some kind of shenanigans between the whistles just as well as he does with his play on the ice. So those are the two guys who I think are going to be the driving forces of the team this year. But they also have some veteran acquisitions who will contribute in the way of experience as well. But Tkachuk and Chabot are the two guys that I'm keeping my eyes on for sure.
Brandon Maki on the phone with Silver 7 talking about the upcoming season. As far as the young guys go, a few people are going to be disappointed with Logan Brown not making the squad.
Yeah, it's tough. The Senators are in a situation right now where their pool of prospects at the center position is probably the envy of the league. You have Josh Norris, who really came into his own. He was the AHL's most outstanding player last year. Shane Pinto is tearing it up at UND right now. And for Logan Brown, he had to outperform one of those guys like Chris Tierney or Artem Anisimov or Colin White, which is a tall order because the three of those guys are talented hockey players, and by all accounts, they've had very good camps. I think the unfortunate reality of bringing a rookie to the NHL is with Logan Brown, you want him playing top 6 minutes or it's not worth it because that's where he's going to fit in. So if you don't have a role for him there, then there's not a whole lot you can do. I think if Logan Brown wants to stick around and, the team and the player haven't gone too sour on each other quite yet, he's still going to get lots of opportunities. The way this schedule is, how compact it is, it's going to be a grind on players' bodies, and there's going to be a lot of rotation. So, yeah, Josh Norris is going to be the number one center to start the season, but I would figure that Brown is going to get his fair share of opportunities so long as he's willing to receive them.
All right, and I'll leave with this. Just Tim Stützle, who's a lot of buzz around this this player. Is he got superstar status? You think at some point?
I think so for sure. Just his raw ability it's something like I haven't seen in a Senators prospect in my time covering the team. At least the comparisons that have been floated around are Jason Spezza, Marian Hossa, guys that we haven't seen in Ottawa for the last 20 years or so. So with that level of potential, I think so. And we saw it at the World Juniors, right? Like this kid has all-world ability. His skating is unbelievable. He's so strong on the puck. It's glued to his stick. His hands are amazing. There's really not a lot he can do, or a lot he can't do, on the ice, that I should say. So I think so. There might be an adjustment period, from the European game to the NHL. We do kind of need to temper our expectations with a young player, but the sky's the limit for Tim Stützle. I think there's superstar status in his future for sure.
Now, it sounds like we got, at least it looks like we got something to look at on the ice. I mean, the rebuild that, they called on a couple years ago, obviously that takes a few years. Montreal and Toronto just a few steps ahead of us that way. But all in all, it sounds like it could still be a fairly exciting season. Be able to start watching it this Friday. And, yeah, it's going to be a weird one. And listen, if you're available to us, we'd love to talk to you, each week, maybe get a rundown on what to expect. And you can fill us in on any changes and prospects and what we should be looking forward to with this team in the coming games. And what do we got, 50-odd games? That's about it this season?
56, yeah, and hey, it's lockdown in Ontario. I got nothing else to do. So
Fantastic. Hey, listen, we got a link up on our Facebook page. If you're a Sens fan, great place to follow what's going on. Some great bloggers on there. silver7sens.com. You want to check it out. Brandon, a regular contributor to that. And, dude, we'll give you a call next Wednesday. We'll find out how the first few games went. And we appreciate you making some time for us, filling us in on what's going on with the team.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Enjoy the start of the season.
We've been waiting for it, dude. Have yourselves a great day. We'll talk to you next Wednesday, Brandon.
Take care, guys.
Have a good one.